Utah, when I was a boy, everybody knew what a downwinder was. We were the anti-nuclear capital of the world. I was an autistic kid. My father was a drafted United States Marine, an incredible man. I come from an incredible family. My uncle stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day. I grew up on a huge ranch out by the lake. He was a beautiful, incredible person. He was at Pendleton, combat ready, and they were human guinea pig. They were marched into the trenches in Nevada. They're called atomic veterans. He nearly died at the blast. Between 1951 and 1968, we had 300 open-air tests. Well, as different scientists started to write about this, Wallace Stegner was at the University of Utah at the time. I got to know him. Edward Abbey was hanging around there. I got to know him. I got to know all these environmentalists, and I was an environmentalist, and it was a passionate, intense subject matter there.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. Bloomgate, 311, whatever you want to call it. I call it Pacific genocide, whatever. It's fucking giant conspiratorial across all demographics. They'll be calling you a radical. May God have mercy on all of your souls.
Nuclear power was evolving. We were promised, oh, this can't happen. It will never happen. We cannot have a meltdown.
And wake up the world before, the world could step in and override the Department of Energy, which is the United States Department of Energy is the biggest organized crime syndicate in the history of mankind. By millions of times. It's a crime syndicate. It's all based in free money. So it's a shakedown, it's a loot. It's a crime syndicate. Crime syndicates, that's the way they operate. They extort you, hold you hostage, and no money against you. That's what the nuclear department's done. The Department of Energy, which the Department of Energy, you look it up. I want you to look it up. The Department of Energy, the subsidy that comes through the taxpayer, and this is without Price Anderson. Now, Price Anderson allows no liability. But look at the subsidy that's thrown to these in the name of military, and that's even on balance sheet. So you take wind, solar, all these other things combined, they don't even come, times it by 12, the other 12, you still don't get to nuclear. Don't even get close. It's free for money for nothing, and your chicks for free, and you seen their chicks? Whoa, who would want one? It's disturbing. I run into these rats all over. Every time I'm traveling, because they're in the museums, they're at the opera, they're, wherever. tourists go. There they are with their, paid and bought prostitutes. That's who their women are. I mean, they'll say they're a wife or whatever. I ran into this little rat in San Diego at Del Mar, and ran the nuclear reactor in that big, ugly monster, hideous nightmare in Arizona. Had about a 6. I mean, it looked like freaking what's her name with, the little short actor in the 80s. What's his name? That Jan uses in her videos. It looked like that couple. She was 1.5 feet taller than him. And this girl had more plastic surgery than Jenner. And I'm like, so we start talking. She's like, when I was in the IAEA in Vienna. So I meet this girl. She stuck out like a sore thumb because I'm in my protest zone. They finally all argued. There was a major fight going between Austrian police, the UN. I had an attorney show up and help me. They couldn't decide where UN property stops and Austrian starts, so where can I protest? Finally, one guy overrode, and he drew me out of line. I got my box. I felt like I was a third base coach, and don't leave the box. I get 1 foot out. I said, can I have 1 foot out? Yeah, you put 1 foot out, Kev. But don't let that other foot out of the box. I feel like I was playing baseball in the box, Step out. So, here comes this girl. She's hanging around there. She's with this old Indian guy. And Indian as in real Indians from India, which a lot of them are, because you think the nuclear fight's going here, oh, you ought to see it in India. A lot of the great famous journalists and famous activists have had to flee. They're hiding in Vienna. They're hiding in Austria because they're being murdered. I mean, the guy that I stayed with, really close friend, he died, young, supposedly choked, like they all supposedly choked. 84th one in the Netherlands while I was there in Amsterdam. I think that was June 24th. 84th one. I mean, the war is on, big time. If you get a chance, look up the trailer on Nuclear Lies. The guy I stayed with was a film professor in Vienna that made the documentary. So they're killing him. So I run into this girl. I'm like, what? You're with him? Well, prostitution is legal all over Europe. I told Sandra, right there, Sandra's with me, I says, prostitute. High-end paid freaking prostitute. Oh, no. Holding his hand, walking with him every day. She stands up there while he's going in, so I get talking to her. So we talk. Yeah. I'm a paid freaking escort. Really? On the IAE, I says, it's written off into an expense account. So she actually has a foundation set up to where the UN funnels money to the IAEA, which actually the IAEA pays her. She gets her check legally, through the International Atomic Energy, legally. She showed me, she talked to me about it. I says, how much you get a day? $3,000 a day. I mean, we're talking in Europe, because it's not like here, you got these people that make fucking $9,000 a second, and the rest of the slaves make, the average median income. I love how they say it's $40,000. We know for a fact it's really about $14,000. $50,000 so-called illegals, but the cash economy. I mean, the major freaking employment system in this country, the construction industry, the restaurant industry, the maid industry, they're all being paid cash and they're being exploited. And it's not just so-called illegal brown people. It's everybody. They're exploiting our young wolves like crazy. So I'm like, what? So you just hang with him, have sex with him, sleep with him? She says, oh, I don't even have to have sex with this guy. This guy couldn't get a hard on. Really? And so she was telling me the whole thing. And I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it's unbelievable what a shakedown this is. It's unbelievable what a shakedown. It's unbelievable how ignorant the American populace is about the shakedown. They still think, you still got the Pandora's Promise freaking propaganda machine going through CNN saying how fucking nuclear is the answer to global warming when nuclear is global warming. 410 reactors boiling the Earth's water over and over. Uranium tailings on fire all over the fucking world. The uranium tailings are on fire in Canada. They're on fire in the Dakotas. They're on fire in Utah. They're on fire down under. We actually got to win. One thing these great activists have been born out of my YouTube site, I think the very best one, the strongest one, is Kylie Fitzwater-Greer in Australia. Her young boy, that's just a young woman and her husband, he helps her out, and, she took her children and the other thing, but, boy, she has a little freaking group down there, and they show up to everything, and they're articulate and smart, and people, she's beautiful, she's smart, she's articulate, and boy, does she make things happen down there. So they backed off the uranium agreement, a lot due to her great work. Grassroots activism very much works. Very much works. If you don't think so, you know nothing. Look at about the Ferguson protests. The Ferguson protests have spilled into the Missouri players backing out, which is going to ripple. It's going to ripple. It's waking people up, and it's articulate. And, they try to race bait. They try to religious bait. Look at them now. You got some maniac who's dead, by the way. A maniac who orchestrated, this in Paris in his small group. He really thinks he's a martyr. They really think there's something. So they organize and go kill innocent people. Well, that's what the other side does. What good does that do? Because it doesn't do any good. It feeds into them. It's like Muhammad Atta. Muhammad Atta wrote. He's at the University of Hamburg in Germany, organizing 9/11, which inside job on Balco. You don't think the Bush administration knew what they were up to, please? So, Brother Bandar, Brother Bandar, Brother Bandar. So it was said by their group, well, you look up the word terrorize. He says, we're going to throw these fuckers into fear. So when they go into fear, because they hypothesize that America was cowards. And they'll freaking loot the treasury. They'll throw over their whole lives. They'll go around and they'll just destroy their way of lives just out of their own fear. Mission accomplished. Oh, did it work? Can you go back pre-9/11? You go back the military coup of 2000, and people laugh at that. They can't even wrap their mind around because I've been at this a long time, the military coup of 2000. Jeb Bush. This is how arrogant these monsters are. And you've listened to Jeb Bush talk now. We thought he had to be some slick Willie, some smart dude like Bill Clinton, make you think you're a Democrat when you're really a hard far-right neoconservative Wall Street freaking insider. A Rhodes Scholar from the House of Windsor, Oxford, arranged marriage to one of the Rodham girls right out of the House of Windsor. And it somehow orchestrated and made you believe that he was for labor. It's like Hillary showing up saying, we're still for labor. The Democratic Party's still for labor. After Clinton and Obama, let's see, who built and made and orchestrated the giveaway to Wall Street? Gutted Glass-Steagall? Who, NAFTA? Oh, I will never sign NAFTA. I will never say NAFTA in the debates of 92. Bill Clinton, NAFTA. Barack Obama, TPP. There's still people it's so easy for them, just like this whole thing they're playing now. On ISIS, they made up ISIS. They created ISIS, ISIS Inc. It's been proven. I tell you how it's been proven over and over and over. There's a famous court case that was going in London. And so the attorneys are going at it, and they got this so-called jihadist terrorist on trial, supporting ISIS. Inside the trial, the attorney exposes that the the Queen's English Royal, whatever their rats are called, their CIA, was totally funding ISIS. The exact same trial he showed it right in court. So the English government was funding the same guy that this guy was funding. The judge threw it out of court. And the prosecution's backed out. The prosecution says, no, we're dropping all charges. Because the attorney was like, in a courtroom, we're going to expose it. We're going to expose it. And he's like, ooh, that's the same reason they shut down Senator Humphrey. And I said it, everything, same thing. These guys are afraid to get into a courtroom. So the Obama administration, he's a globalist rat, just like freaking Clinton, just like the rat. Barack Obama is worse than freaking Clinton. As bad as Bush. Far-right globalist. Hard-right. Look at everything he did. He gave away the freaking country lock, stock, and barrel to the bankers, gave away to the freaking Wall Street, gave away freaking Obamacare to the insurance companies. He's freaking funneled up to the 1% more than just as much as anybody. So he's done nothing. But, Congress wields power, and we see who's got Congress. When they jerry-rig the districts, Congress is freaking insane. So these people are still playing the same playbook. And amazingly, they think it works. I don't think it works, personally, because I'll watch the CNN, Fox News ratings. They're off cliff. You know, in these red states where I live and whatever, of course it's going to work, because the economy here is, it's pure the fear economy. So pawns killing pawns. So it's amazing when I get off the plane, you know, I'm on the plane and they're experimenting on some of these airplanes now with free Wi-Fi right now. And so I had a plane flight that had a television and free Wi-Fi as I'm flying in the middle of the night on the red eye. And I see it come across. This plane's gone down. You know, and I knew where it was coming from. I mean, that's a resort, you know, and then they junk it back over to St. Petersburg. I'm like, oh my God, no. I says, this has been taken now. Well, we know the CIA has come out and admitted it. I mean, they not even admitted it. They've blatantly just told everybody, but America doesn't care. They're like, we have military advisors. I mean, they've had military advisors in Syria for God knows how long. But, I mean, they sent thousands of them. I mean, they're mercenaries. There's a war going on, a full-blown out war. Same in the Ukraine. Yeah, we have mercenaries, and Putin says we got a thing, but, you know, Putin, the Queen, and they run the world like they've always run the world. The only time they ever took it away was we in the United States after World War II. We took it away. We took it away with Hamilton in the Revolutionary War. We took it away for a while. They tried to get it back. That was, I mean, I love it in Europe. They don't call it Civil War. They call it the Textile War. The Queen funded. I mean, they've always been trying to get it back. Look, they've been fighting over North America. The French, the English, the Spanish have been fighting over North America for centuries. Just because they got a document, they never quit fighting. English freaking weasel-dicked and got it. They got it all back. So when the fight goes on, the so-called House of Windsor, which is nothing but the royal family in England, is running, they'll tell you, you go to England, you talk to these leaders, they'll say, oh, well, the United States is ours. You know, they all speak English, they all freaking, you know, which they are. Mission accomplished. George Walker, look up Walker. Trace those bloodlines. And I think it's funny when he stole the election in 2000. Now, you go back to a Supreme Court justice named Davis, who was the most corrupt Supreme Court justice in American history. Benedict Arnold Laing. Guess who he's related to? Direct bloodlines, and not that far ago. Direct bloodlines to the Bushes. And his playbook has been set for a long time. So they got it. The United States is nothing but a military colony of fear cowards for the Queen. We are worse than, you know, what they did to the Irish forever, because we have this major military industrial complex that went amok. I love it how it's still cliche. Oh, that's a cliche when freaking Dwight Eisenhower, right after the election of JFK, came out with that speech, January 1961. Read it. He screamed and warned. Not going to happen, so all this has already happened. You know, mission accomplished. So you have twofold. You have the economic thesis they looted the country. They fooled you on their trickle-down economics where they piss on your head to give you a golden shower, and apparently America likes golden showers because they got it, and they're still bubbling down. So they find Anne Rand Greenspan hijacks the fucking Fed. You know, they hijack fucking a guy named Reagan. I hear these people still quoting Reagan. I'm like, Reagan, the Democrat? The guy who was most likely gay? The most likely to abandon the two children, went to the other. I mean, that guy? You mean the Democrat from California? The B actor, as he said in the movie? That guy? You mean the Democrat that they co-opted? The spokesman for the John Birch that used to vote? That guy? The guy who opened up what Eisenhower did and opened the border? That guy? You know, that guy who expanded, you know, their puppet? The guy who his own son says had dementia the whole time he was in the thing? The guy who went to the astrologer who decided everything? That guy? The guy who, the astrologer was anti-nuclear, Nancy, the liberal who was anti-nuclear? You mean her? You mean Reagan who was hardcore anti-nuclear? Reagan who signed with Gorbachev? They grabbed his hands and held his hands back. He says, let's go all the way, Ronnie. He says, okay. They signed the non-proliferation contracts. They signed them. It's international law. You can't ignore nuclear bombs. They're testing more nuclear because the industrial military complex has looted the country. How have they done it? Through fear. So when it gets right down to the nitty-gritty and dirty, King Putin, the new Tsar, and Queen Elizabeth, which, by the way, they're probably most likely related. People think I'm crazy on this. Mark my words. I'll be just like Paul McKay Brody, my person who taught me, right here, who wrote Jefferson's biography, lived right here. My grandma's very closest, dearest friend. The greatest female writer since Sarah Beecher Stowe. She hypothesized, paid a lot of money to do her heavy research on Jefferson. Told Brody, her husband, says, "Oh, I would leave you right now for Thomas Jefferson. That's the biggest charmer." What? He was a charmer. You know how many women that guy slept with? Oh my God, he inherited huge money. He was drunk all the time, but boy, including them French girls he charmed to pay for the freaking war. Through the Masonics, they all knew each other. She's the one that dug in and proved. And people thought she was insane. Look, Thomas Jefferson has people that are hardcore racist United States senators that are bloodlines traced back to his own slaves. He has thousands of children through his own slaves. He's sleeping with hundreds of his own slaves. Said himself, he would sit around the house stark freaking naked all day, take his air bath, he drank freaking gallons of wine a day. He inherited by today's standards billions of dollars, billions from his father. Oh, he was a brilliant guy. Don't get me wrong. He was an amazing dude. Boy, he knew how to freaking work it. Him and Hamilton actually loved each other, not hated each other. Hamilton took a bullet so he could be president. So, she exposes the racist senator in South Carolina, or North Carolina, Helm, who had that drag-off before. These people don't leave until they're dead. I mean, they got to drag them by 1 foot. By the way, Orrin Hatch, who's the leader, who's from Pennsylvania, doesn't even know where cities are here, who's got dementia so bad, they just prop him up. And I know that because I went to college with a lot of his handlers. They just prop him up and speak for him. He's just a figure. He's so gonzo mentally, he doesn't even know where he's at most of the time. He has hardcore dementia. So she exposed that Jesse Helms was the bloodlines of black woman slave. She went through this, and she's fucking crazy. Huh. Oh, how crazy was she? She was dead on it. DNA proved everything she fucking said. Just like I've said, my guess is Putin's related to Nicholas and the family. People think I'm crazy, but he's the new czar, irregardless if he's related or not. It's all back. Where Trotsky, they killed Trotsky. Yeah, Trotsky was sitting in Vienna. So was Lenin, so was Stalin, and none of their real names, watching the empire crumble. Well, when it all gets right down to it, 200 years ago, before those guys showed up in Vienna, everything was falling apart. All roads lead to Vienna, to the IAA and UN. It's amazing. It's headquartered there. It's amazing. That's the only place that actually will give political asylum to anti-nuclear activists and protect them. The only place that knows they kill anti-nuclear activists. There are people that know this incredible fucking looting because of the pain they went through. Not just in World War II, World War I, the whole lead up of the horrible fall, the fucking Marie Antoinette, that little girl, when that family fell, the great freaking Roman Empire fell. So you go back to Waterloo. The Masonics, they fucking, in Paris, guillotine on average 40 heads a day. Prison, you even spoke anything about royal. They changed the calendar, 10-day calendar. Anything royal, it was over. They threw the freaking Catholic Church out. They threw the royals, which the Catholic Church and the fucking English royal family made a holy alliance a long time ago. That holy alliance, well, I call it the ultimate unholy alliance. It still exists. So when I got right down to it, fuck, these fuckers are, we're done. Our fucking fear fucking porn, our pay the dragon slayer, our fear, our fucking gold and shiny metal, it's over. These French fuckers are on to us. We're done. Napoleon's on to us, which spilled out. Oh, they were Masonics? Yeah, they were called George Washington Masons. They broke ranks outside the Masonic theater, and the Masonics, they joined together through wealth and power. Says, fuck you. We're going to have a Masonic war. We're going to have one in the United States called the American Revolution, Craftsmen. We're going to have one in France called the French Revolution that has slowly evolved. So how did they lose Waterloo? When they got that much power, they're fucking slaughtering and killing. Remember, Maximilian started out as what? He was a fucking activist in the street. Yes. Anti-capital punishment. You can't make it up. You can't make it up. By the end, he was the one giving the notes on, he had his dark list. These are the 40 people you guillotined today here, including Marie Antoinette, who never did anything, that little girl. Never did anything. You know, let them eat yellow cake. Now, Marie Antoinette said that on the White House lawn, and that's the beauty of this genre. All proof. You don't have to run to a fucking newspaper and let them spin and lie and write everything. We got YouTube, but they're trying to go to work on us there. So, right at the end, he's got fucking the Queen's fucking army. Wellington, he's done. They're fucking done. The fucking wars is over again, which they come in power. They lose power. They always get it back, don't they? The English always leaned that fucking royal family. When they wiped them all out, that fucking Yalta by the Sea, World War II, that was FDR. No rules, no Delano, Franklin Delano. You know about the Delanos. The French freaking beautiful girls, the arranged marriage of his daddy and that beautiful young French girl who was how much younger than him? The power vacuum, the fucking joining. Fuck you. Royals are done again. It's over. How did they possibly pull it off? Oh, they call in their fucking cousins from fucking Russia. Here comes the Prussians. Join up with fucking the English. Boop. Napoleon's done. They join forces again? When it's always the Russian does fucking, the Hungarian, what? It goes back again, I'll tell her. So you have this incredible peace activist named J. Robert Oppenheimer. You have this incredible peace activist named Albert Einstein, his friend Eddington. Peace activists. What do? Again, they call in the Budapest Hungarian who just had pure hatred. I mean, you got to realize what the fucking Russians did to him while they're just... Like I was in Denmark, I'm like, how in the fuck did this fucking guy named Blanch, this fucking... with the French name white, English guy, fucking get these two beautiful fucking young northern Denmark women. Which, boys, my great-great-grandma, he was a polygamist here. I live right here. I live in one of the polygamous, I live right next door to one, there's two little houses, right? I'm looking at them right now. How in the fuck is that possible? And, by the way, you can read into their journals or whatever, they both fucking, one of them wouldn't even let him touch her. My great-grandma wouldn't even fucking let him fucking sleep with her, wouldn't let him fucking touch her. He never had a child with him. But she had a son when he brought her here, and so did the other one. The other one had one child with him, and she later fucking left his ass, too. Again. So, I'm like, how? So I get North America. I find my old relatives. I find it because they're such great kids. I got to go meet with them. I got to talk with them, and they're like, oh, don't you know what happened in the 1860s and 1870s here? No. The Prussians got us again. For the how manyth time? They killed all the men. So these women were distraught, these liars coming up to the fucking new land, made the desert bloom. They always seem to join together right at the last minute. What do you think they're doing in the fucking... It's a pawn game to them. It's always been a board game. And they play the United States fucking populace like a fiddle. Just like they fucking play the European populace. Fucking pay the dragon slayer. They fucking just play you. And we're willing to... We're getting nothing. We're fucking... They're looting us. The country's fucking looted by the fucking military industrialized complex, and they say, oh, we'll make you rich. Here, they've come in. Now, you can look it up. You think I'm crazy on this. You go to 2000. Go look up all the news desks on the major media. Look them up. They're all British. They're all come out of Rupert Murdoch, Operation Foxconn, I call it. Look, Fox News is what it was. I used to fucking have a fit about it in the 90s. But this guy bought up fucking Major League Baseball rights. Now, you think about how they were able to do it. We said all over the night, this fucking guy buys up fucking all the exclusive rights for the Major League Baseball television to not show baseball. That's why baseball fucking going away from being an American sport. Fox News bought up all the rights to not show baseball. Because it's the thinking man's game. It's too dynamic. It's whatever. Let's turn it into the fucking barbarian fucking sport. Let these fuckers beat each other's fucking brains in. Called the NFL. They just promoted it. And I'm like... Then they really got power in 2000 when they orchestrated the theft of the election. Look, they says, oh, the networks had it wrong. When 29 of the 30 major networks of the people that called the election all called Gore winning. They did not get it wrong. One fucking Foxconn, Operation Foxconn, with the full funding of United States military defense contractors, with the full funding of Queen. Look up fucking Murdoch. Murdoch says it himself. Even I didn't believe it could go this far. He says, I'm actually embarrassed by a lot of it. That's fucking Rupert's fucking awards. I couldn't believe it. And you do know the story about, think about it's so fucking crazy how these fucking stories are evolved, and they'll be written in history, they'll be fucking mythology, they'll be some of the biggest stories in history if we survive this nuclear fallout because we passed the fucking point of no return. So, the second, third, whatever wife she is, who's 40 years younger than the guy, the Chinese gold digger, oh, she knows how to play him. Well, those sons of fucking Rupert, they're not that stupid. They're not going to let him fucking Anna Nicole Smith there. There's laws against that. They got fucking clown. Oh, how could she possibly do it? Only one way. Have children from me. I mean, she must have fed that fucker so full of fucking Viagra, got him so fucking damped up. I mean, can you imagine? So she's got 2 kids. So Rupert's recently divorced her because infidelity. Well, I'm sure there was lots of infidelity. You got a young woman like that guy, I'm sure she didn't marry that guy for sex. She's getting sex somewhere. I'm sure he knew. She probably had lots of lovers. Oh, but this one pissed him off when he found out who this one was, and he says, oh, no, you've crossed the fucking line this time. Who? Tony Blair? What? And Tony Blair, that's one ugly dude. You think she slept with Tony Blair fucking out of being turned on sexually? Remember, this is a woman who was able to gut it out fucking long enough to let Rupert Murdoch get on her. Think about that. Oh, that fucking no big deal. I can fucking gut this out with Tony Blair. Fuck, I'll suck up so much fucking power. Oh, boy. It's amazing. Freudian, again, all roads lead to Vienna. So here they go. They're playing this fucker. They invent ISIS. They know that these young, idealistic, so-called jihadists, these American crusaders, they understand. They're willing, they understand they've got the evangelicals. They got the Mormons. They paid them, by the way. They bought them. There's no way in hell, because I grew up in this Mormon thesis, and I know what, fuck, my great-grandfather was the guy that fucking, if it wasn't for him, there would be no Mormon. My grandfather. They're all leaving, everybody's leaving, but they don't care. It's Mormon Inc. Because what happened? Because the United States, again, the Obama administration, all of them, goes back to Clinton, goes back H. Bush. Oh, my God. Holy fuck. The person that tried to kill fucking Reagan, that's unarguable that fucking H. Bush and the Bush family tried to kill Reagan. Do you know the Hinckley kid that, think about this. You try to kill a United States president, shoot him, point blank. Do you know he's out of prison? The Hinckley, his father, and Bush's business partners. We know the fucking, it's been well documented and proven over and over and over. H. Bush fucking tried to have fucking the President of the United States, the head of the CIA. Oh, just like Putin. Putin, head of the KGB. This woman who went over and did her PhD, for 8 fucking years in Russia, and talked about how Putin was able to suck up the power when the wall fell because, the old Soviet Union had money stashed everywhere, every nook and cranny, everywhere, and he just took control of this. Oh, mine now. Same guy who bought the Brooklyn Nets, mine now. Right place, right time. Well, Putin's called his wealth back. They're forming the alliance to fucking shift fucking power. It's a board game. That's all it is a board game. Same old players. Same old fucking players. And when it comes right down to it, mark my words, Putin and the Queen will fucking hold hands and fucking kiss, and they'll Waterloo all over again. He's worth $60 billion. That's at least 60. You're talking czar. He has more concentrated fucking wealth to the 1% than Catherine had, than fucking any of them fucking had. And you think, oh, the palace of St. Petersburg, the winter quarters, all of them, wow. You've seen Putin's? You've seen Putin's new one? It's bigger than that. He bought up a whole peninsula. $1.2 billion just the construction of it was in American dollars. The concentration of wealth and power in 1911, 12, the fucking shift is bigger now than it was then. As when Black Hand fucking in Sarajevo, it was on. So when I land in New York, I says, look at this. Holy fuck, it's the Lusitania on Balco. And then I forget. People are that ignorant. They don't even know what the Lusitania means. They don't know what that is. That's what got us into World War I. United States, George Washington, we must rid ourselves of the horrible plague the first and foremost duty of this country, this new founded land, which was never called America, that's Pucci, that guy from Florence who spoke Italiano, Spanish. No, not that guy. It was called the United States, this new document. It was anti-royal, we must rid ourselves of the plague called war. The great plague on all humanity, we must rid ourselves. He also made many, many comments of stay out of foreign affairs. Many, many, many comments about the size of the military must be small and lean, and if it ever gets big, we're done. Over and over and over. Everybody knew that. Royals weren't allowed in this fucking country. No, well, now we stand up and worship them. Line the streets, throw fucking flag. Oh, look at Kate. The skirt blew up her ass. I mean, she's so butt fucking ugly. I mean, my God, those little ugly inbreds. And look what they did to their own. You don't think they'll kill their own? Look what they did to Diana. I mean, you think about how sick these demented fuckers. And if you don't believe me, I want you to look up, what's his name, Epstein, Clinton's buddy, who spent, we're talking a billionaire now. He spent time in Arizona, over a year in prison. Billionaires don't go to prison. He should have went for life. I mean, he got caught with the big prostitution ring. 13, 14-year-old girls. Dershowitz on the list. Bill Clinton on the fucking list. The fucking prince, not the young princes, the old prince in fucking England on the fucking list. You don't, I mean, come on. These are the richest people on earth. You know, they can find these fucking high-end fucking girls. I mean, there's plenty of fucking sexy, incredible, beautiful females for these creepy fuckers to buy. What's $2,000-$3,000 a day to them? What's that? I don't care. No, it just shows you how sick and demented these fuckers are. By the way, the prostitution ring still goes on. These young girls now, it's been traced to his brother, are grown women now, and they're just set up shop, and they run out of New York, same old. He went to prison. These people are fucking demented. Fucking sick. It's the same old playbook. It's Freudian. Here we go. Everybody says, oh, this can't happen. We have this many people in this technology. It's happening even more. Thus, post-ignorance. Post-ignorance someday, not today. We've crossed the point of no return. And I've been heartbroken the last few days. You know, I was warned. I was warned in New York. I was warned by the original anonymous group. I mean, we're talking the old guys. The old guys that go way back. The fucking real anonymous started in the fucking early 80s with Iran Contra. Those guys. Oh, yeah, I know those guys. They came to me. Kevin, your life's in danger. Yeah, I know. The fucking PR machines, the way they fucking play, they fucking prey on these fucking mentally ill fucking weaklings. It's on. Because we had YouTube. We had this John when Fukushima happened. Look, I've been at this a long time. I understand the power vacuum. I understand the fucking Freudian agenda. I understand it doesn't matter if there's 7 billion people or 700,000 people. It's still a fucking community. I understand that they can fucking herd the entire fucking herd, which they've done. I understand that there'll be 1 or 2 fucking leaders. It doesn't matter if there's fucking 170 billion. You're still only going to have 1 or 2 fucking leaders. They'll stomp them out. And you don't believe me, the long history of it. You know, think, oh, fuck, they wouldn't political fucking asylum people like that. And, you know, I'm the guy that came up with Snowden Manning. Oh, you can't run for prison for president fucking prison. What's his name did it? What, Debs? How many, I mean, he got 6% of it, and he goes from prison to fucking dinner at the White House in one day. I mean, it's political theater over, but we had Teddy stood up. Morgan says, we bought the son of a bitch who refused to say bought. You know, Abraham Lincoln refused to say fucking bought. McKinley! Now, you think about it. I want you to really think about this, how this agenda is fucking going forward, to get rid of anything that's anti-royal. Which, yeah, they were Masonics, but they were George Washington Masonics. They've lost all power. Now it's all skull and bones, which is fucking funded right by the fucking House of Windsor. They own it all. It's the English elite fucking royals and their cousins in fucking Russia. Same old, same old. You know, now they got their fucking, you know, that impotent fucker who couldn't get a hard on couldn't fuck Marie Antoinette. He couldn't do it. They stood there back there and watched. They lined him up. They said, well, we all put the empire. Well, I got this 14-year-old daughter of mine. I got this young girl of mine. Here, I'll give her to your young son. We can, you know, join the empires. The French freaking Royal Empire that's fleeting and the Roman Empire. Let's join them together. They're going to have a child to be the new king. So they bring her in there. You know, they feed them every kind of aphrodisiac there is, and this is how sick these men are. They would actually physically watch. They would stand there in the bed and watch. So they knew that it wasn't the bloodlines. He couldn't get a hard on. Couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. So the Unholy Alliance, they're back. The French royal family's back. Now, who would ever believed it after? I mean, the French people, of all people, how many constitutions they had? They threw freaking the rose completely out, lock, stock, barrel. Who would ever believe they could get it back that quickly? They got it back. So here they go. It's the same old players. But they have the military-industrialized complex, and it's all nuclear. Because the United States got powerful after World War II. They got economic power. They go from, 39th biggest military in the world to this, that quick? The spoils of war. I'll tell you why the spoils of war. After World War II, so you can look it up. It's all online. It's really great. I mean, you can break all this down very easily. Through the Roosevelts. The Roosevelts stood up. You know, they stood up. You know, Eleanor had tremendous influence, and Eleanor was born out of the women's rights movement of the shirtwaist fire. What, you want to talk an activist? Oh, my God. Grassrooters in the street. You know, the best activist since her is Freedom Eisenblower in Vienna. You know, wow. Tremendous influence. Teddy's favorite niece. That's right, Teddy's favorite niece. Ended up married to Franklin. All arranged marriages? Of course. That's how power works. They stood up. They threw the royals out, the war, because the Russians lost 28 million. We're just talking soldiers. So 28 million soldiers. Let's remember the Russian famine. Let's remember everything that they'd gone through. You know, Bolsheviks on Balko. There were no men left in 1945. So there's Stalin again, comes from Vienna. That's not his real name. Him, FDR, and Churchill lined up. And I always go back to FDR's brilliant quote. Winston lived in the White House. Winston was smart enough in Scotland Yard, and you do know about Winston Churchill's background. Scotland, he teed up any political operative. He teed up hundreds of people, sent them to the gallows, sent them to prison for crimes they never committed. Any political operative, that was his job. He was very good at it, by the way. And he was an incredible diplomat, and he was a incredible freaking guy, and he was a brilliant fucking guy. Again, a lot like Jefferson, hardcore alcoholic, 2 gallons of wine a day, wasted off his ass every day. Amazing freaking diplomat. Amazing how to fucking, I saw Coyote out here yesterday, as I got raised by the Navajos. I know when you see the owl during the day, and I knew when I saw it during the day and it did my driveway that I was fucked in 2000. I knew. I see the signs. So the Coyote, the trickster. They know that Coyote's a trickster. Oh boy, did he play. So Stalin, Yalta by the Sea, which is 70 years ago right now. All rooted in nuclear. So Wallace is the VP for 3 terms, a socialist. Which, come on, FDR, the greatest socialist in frickin' history? Maybe. The United States from 1945, 1980, the greatest socialist in history? Unarguable, undoubtable. Tax rate, 94%, 94% on the 1%. Tariffs of 400%. Everybody drove a GM and freaking Christ, and those beautiful things. The WPA hired artists. They ended up at GM. Look at those beautiful things. Look at those. I mean, what a country we had. Oh, my God. I got to grow up in it. Wow. 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 What a happy place. What an amazing time. What an amazing time for the Vietnam activists to step in the street and say, fuck you. Dan Rather to go into the fucking field. Well, the cockeyed reported fucking young activists taken to the street. Stopping the war machine. What amazing. I got to see it. I got to be part of it. Wow. Wow. What happened to all those activists with the flowers in their hair, those girls? Again, Freudian. They took their flowers out of their hair and they got conned by these hair-sprayed fucking liar rats with sexual motives. All sexual motives to get those beautiful girls. Sexual motives. Oh, we'll never compete with these fucking, guys that are all fucking into the environment, well-read, intellectuals, freaking out in the street with a hawk and trowel in their hand, these fucking work-class. We have to trick them. So they put hairspray on, started driving fucking their Mercedes around and using debt and structure and tricking. Because they know The beautiful female goes, Warhol got that, boy, didn't he? Warhol was the master. So I don't have to do anything. I just find her. I find Brick. I find fucking Edie Sedgwick. They'll follow like Freudian goats. That the man tricked the women. So the woman took the flowers out of their hair all over the United States, just in our lifetimes, and they traded in for a shiny car and a mortgage. Look at them. They were trying to replace their beautiful sexuality with plastic surgery, which does not work, by the way, because beautiful and sexuality and all these things that, even in men, it comes from within. You can't fake it. So they think they can fake it. Pop pills. They followed. We sold out. The whole country sold out. Thus, they were able to play the 9/11 fear game. Who would ever believe it? Mission accomplished. Brother Bandar, he holds hands, kisses. You know, they fly the Saudis all out. My God, right in your face. You know, Michael Moore, who I really cannot stand, because he stood with Pandora's Promised Land, and he's lost his mind. And, you know, his later work's pathetic, but his early work, oh my God. You're talking to two of the greatest documentary films ever made in history. Roger and Me? Did he not call it to a T? How good was he then? How about Fahrenheit 9/11? Are you kidding? It's got to be one of the greatest pieces in human history ever made. So incredibly accurate. So incredible fucking true. Wow. I mean, told, just like Pat Tillman, the documentary, I know the documentary filmmakers, people that worked on it, of Pat Tillman. Right in your face. Goes right in the hill, tells you right in your face. His mom and dad on Anderson, Vanderbilt, CIA Cooper. They tell you right in your face. O'Brien's on the hill. The young man that was with him. Of course, I always say O'Brien, I think I get the O'Neill. Excuse me. Talk about a Freudian slip. I always call them both O'Briens. The one from Weaver that dropped the punt and him. They're O'Neills. O'Neill said, watch, you think about it, the best investigative journalist right now in the United States who has any platform is Jeremy Schaap. ESPN Outside the Lines. I wasn't a great fan of his dad, but, boy, his dad sure taught this kid. How good is his work? You look up the documentary, 10 years from the day Pat Tillman was he was killed in 2004. I knew right the day he was killed. I knew, because it reminded me of my father so much. It reminded me that so much of my life was just stolen from me. His life stolen. The people that I love and care about stole from me, taken away from me. I think about it. It's hard for me to even cope with. I don't know how I've been able to cope with it over the years. The love of my life. Killed by freaking leukemia, human lab rat in the Nevada test site. So Wallace, 3 terms? Then right before FDR dies, what? Truman? They find this guy? Because look, the peace activists, Oppenheimer, the peace activists, Einstein, marginalized, pushed to the side. All that fucking commie. I love it how they're still at Berkeley sensationalizing when he fucking hated Berkeley with a fucking passion. The head of the snake. What they did to him is fucking beyond fucking criminal. So they find him. Oppenheimer says, drop the scare bomb. Don't fucking do it. They didn't ask fucking Oppenheimer to run the Manhattan Project. They told. Einstein said it. I'm on the field, coming from the school. One of my best friends experimenting with fucking nerve gas. Hurry up the war, World War I. Oh, worse, he's a gasp. So he's living because Eddington proved the light did bend. Campbell had it wrong. He proved it. Again, World War I, take the fucking telescope away in Crimea. Fucking right as it broke out. So Campbell didn't have his good gear. So he's up in Oregon presenting at the House of Fuck in fucking England. But thank God Eddington has done his work in Australia. He come up, no, he's right. Campbell, you're wrong. He's right. It does bend. The intuitive mind. He had a dream. So his friend comes to him. He's living in Long Island. He's the most famous person in the world. The most famous person in the world, the great. And rightfully so, because he proved light bent, which is all this, it's all about. But he said, don't you go there. Don't you go there. Anti-fucking nuclear, anti-peace activists. So his friend comes to him in Long Island. He says, hey, Hitler has this secret technology. He has this weapon. where they're basing it on your technology, whatever, which he's going to drop it on Washington, D.C. and New York City. Do you realize what he's doing to our people? They were Jewish. Hello. The genocide. Hello. And you think the genocide was, I mean, think about what Hitler did to the Poles. Think what he did to the fucking people of Poland. Think what he did to the people of fucking Russia. And Hitler was a fucking puppet, of course. Power vacuums, again, all roads lead to Vienna. Hitler fucking sleeping on benches in flop houses there. They wouldn't even let him in the cafe. So, here they go. Yalta by the sea. The war's over. The Russians pay the price. There's no men left. They're power vacuums. Stalin's trying to hold on to Trotsky's fucking, another commie. Let's flee. They're all fucking in Mexico. Those commies in Mexico. That great and cosmopolitan imagined fucking country who has no standing military, who has the greatest natural resources in the world, part of North America. Oh, yeah, Mexico? Oh, no, they're all just a bunch of poor scumbags we exploit up the north border. You ever been there? You ever been to Mexico City? You want to talk cosmopolitan. Wow, European. Wow. So, they take the field. So, that's the deal. The Atlantic Conference, it was called. No royals. That's how the UN came about. No royals. It was called the Atlantic Conference. So there's Stalin, Churchill, and them at Yalta by the sea. All fucking, it comes full circle again. They divide up the world. Who takes it all? Just people who paid all the price. Russia and the United States. My uncle, who stood on Omaha Beach on D-Day, 17 years old. My grandpa says, you're not going, you're going. Oh, my grandma's like, oh, yeah, you want to bet both my brothers are over there? My uncle, the admiral. He says, oh, they're going. He's going. They're not going to kill our family over there, freaking like this. He's going, and he went. He just passed. Amazing man. Oh, my God. Anti-war? Oh, I mean, amazing. Intense? Woo. So they divide up the world. Who's the odd man out? Oh, the Queen's the odd man out, but they play long ball. So Stalin said it right. Stalin was like, fuck, they didn't kill fucking Hitler. He's in Argentina. Now, who knows if that's true or not? There's sure a lot of evidence that points to that. It makes perfectly sense to me. So, FDR, of course he's sick. He's got the bad heart, Dr. Bruin. He's got the bad heart. He drops dead in Hot Springs, April 1945. Oh, my God, no. But remember, before that, at the Democratic National Convention, how were they able to pull that off? Wallace, Eleanor's freaking guy. He's going to be the next president of the United States. I mean, it's unarguable. It's undeniable. They force him out through skull and bones, sort of get power through the nuclear cartel, and they replace him with Truman. Why? Because they knew he was freaking sick. They knew. Dr. Brown told him his heart's gone. They knew. So they're like, well, this is our chance. This is our chance. This is going to be the greatest power vacuum in fucking world history. So they do it. They pull it off. And they were right. He drops dead. Stalin's first words, what did Churchill use poisoning? They knew. They're like, we got a chance. We got a chance for the royal family. Because they remember, all the royals were killed. There was one family. They were all related. All the bleeders. They ruled the world. You don't think the concentration of what one family ruled the fucking world? It's all back. You have 400 people in the United States control 68% of the fucking United States' fucking wealth. That's even bigger than that. I mean, they think they're royals. You got the Walton family, you know, they're corporate CEOs who, you know, Tim Cook is openly gay, yet his trade partner in China. I got an argument with a guy about Vietnam Korea the other day. I said, yeah, I have family that fucking was there. Huh. Who are we fighting? I thought we were fighting off the parallel dock and fighting back the freaking commies. Chinese commies. They're our partner. Don't you see? They have a royal family in China, too. There's the freaking elephant in the room. There's the one, but you see Putin trying to make a deal with them. You know, buttering up to her. Those are funny fucking pictures. You see him flirting with the fucking, you know, the wife of the fucking royal. Putin's a slick Willie boy. He's a smart motherfucker, KJB, and he's evil. Do not kid yourself. The guy that went across him, how'd they kill him? With polonium. They could have just killed him. No, let's fucking give him polonium, make him suffer, make him pain. Same old, same old. You know, guillotine, I guess, was fucking, they thought was humanitarian. That's what the English did. Put you up there, William Wallace, and stretch you, pull your fucking guts out. You know, hanging, humane compared to that. I mean, fuck, what an ugly fucking journey, what an ugly path us humans are. Oh my God. Fall back. More than ever. But this time it's nuclear. So when Fukushima happened, I'm like, oh, here it is. They're done. Because this kills them, too. This will kill the world. There's no secret pill. There's no, I think, Steve Chinese job. Jamie Dimon's got lymphoma. Fucking, so does fucking Blanch fine. These fucking elitists around the world, they're fucking dying of cancer, too. I'm like, oh, this is the fucking great equalizer. They're done. Who believed it? Barry Antoinette could stand in the Rose Garden and say, oh, we want the greatest lie ever told. The greatest lie ever told. Barack Obama, Barry Dunham, said it. You know, just like the shiny ball shit. They throw the shiny ball shit. Oh, he wasn't. So you play the birther fucking gig. So that's so nobody can go to the real truth about the far-right freaking Skull and Bones, Harvard. His dad, the Skull and Bones guy at Harvard. His dad, the polygamist. His mother named Stanley, who the father freaking required her to go by Stanley. Where do you think he learned his arrogance? They find him. He's in his own words. Read his book. Yo, Bill Clinton, don't you love that? Oh, his daddy was freaking CIA, but he died in a freaking car right after he impregnated another woman. This girl from Arkansas. Just happened. And so we don't know his daddy, whatever, and you believe that fucking story. I don't. You know, the arranged marriage between Hillary Clinton. Rodham. Oh, she had an affair with Yoko? The most hated woman on earth? Well, how does she know Yoko? Let's see, Yoko's father, the Japanese fucking nuclear bankster who co-opted the Beatles. You don't think she knew you know, what was John Lennon's words about? John Lennon was a fucking prick, by the way. An incredible, brilliant artist? Oh, fuck, yes. One of the greatest of all time. Not my words, Julian's words. His own sons. He abandoned her and left her for Yoko? Well, Yoko's not a girl. She's a guy in drag. John Lennon's words. Now she's the darling. The daughter of the Japanese banker, oligarch, fucking nuclear, in the new colony, the United States got Japan. Barack Obama said it was Japan. These treaties were signed long before I fucking come along. Hello. You know, amazing. Stand down, Japanese people. The Department of Energy runs Japan. They turned it into a nuclear island. Yalta by the Sea gave it to the United States. The United States Department of Energy, Skull and Bones, stepped in and turned Japan into the fucking giant fucking nuclear experiment. Because of the resistance movement here. The peace movement here, the anti-nuclear movement was that big here. They couldn't pull it off. Well, we can't pull it off here. Let's do it in Japan. As he told me right to my face, ask Kylie. She went up. Kylie in Australia, this is the power of all genre. I wrote the question for Kylie. Went right up to his face in the Q&A. She's first question up. This is how good this grassrooter is, that girl down there. They cut off questions because they knew it was coming. But in San Diego, he tells me, how can you be so anti-nuclear now when you're the one that built up the nuclear cartel in Japan? Jay Village, I mean, all these nuclear reactors experimented, the whole fucking gig's run off the island in Japan. You know, on nuclear phone lines everywhere? Are you fucking people crazy? How can you do that? The CIA made me do it. That's what he said. The United States CIA made me do it. That's what he said. He's hardcore anti-nuclear now. Greg Jacko will tell you something. Greg Jacko's out on the anti-nuclear fucking thing for a long time after Fukushima. You ever hear a peep from him? Oh, no. They go to him. Stand down, fucker. Look, it's easy. They come to you. I've had the talk. I've had the talk when I was a fucking professor after 9/11. My rhetoric in the classroom. You know, why do you think they fucking blackballed the first MBA I fucking the university ever got? It was mine. They took it away because of this. They have to talk with you real simple. Hey, man, you got to fucking stand down. Or we will kill you. That's simple. So they stand down. That's a fucking heavy burden. So we'll stay on this, but point of no return, the Pacific Ocean fucking die. No one gives a fuck because the sheep have gone along with this fucking, they're back. It's neo-feudalism. That's all it is. The pyramid's back, and you all went along with it. Johnny, get your gun. Buy your gold out of the fucking Queen's Gold Standard that Rothschild's invented. That'll save you.
All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. All nuclear fighters, all hands on deck, all hands on deck, all hands on deck. They'll be calling you a radical.